But I thought we were going to talk politics first.
Hi everyone, how are you? We miss you all.
I miss you guys too.
And let me get my order. Okay, so Odell is here.
Hi.
Hi Odell, we're lucky to start with you today. Odell is from Canada and he's author of The One Reason. Okay, please, I just need to remind you when you finish your poems, please just say thank you so we know that you're done and we can clap. And
Okay.
after every poem, because we would.
Sure. Yeah, actually, it's probably easiest to do it that way. Awesome. So I'm Odile. I'm Odile Rose from Canada. I'm the author of The One Reason. And
sorry, can you share this book with you, Odile? Can you have the book?
Oh yes. Sorry, I just have my little things on it here.
Wow.
Nice.
Thank you. I'm going to read just a couple short passages from my book, and then I'll move on to some of my poetry. I've learned in life that everything starts with uncertainty, but as you move along, things become clearer. You start to have answers you didn't even know the questions to. I've watched love move around me my entire life, but I never really understood it until now. I never wanted to fall in love before. I used to believe that it could only hurt you, and that's something I was desperate to avoid. But I was wrong. Love doesn't hurt. Love brings you to life, and I've learned that it isn't love that hurts. It's feeling unloved that makes you feel incomplete. But loving someone and them loving you back makes you whole, and it sets you free. I didn't want to give love a chance, but instead, love gave me the chance. So these are just some short passages from my book. Thank you. Thank you. I did write a autumn poem. I wrote it last night, but what I'll do is it okay if I read a couple of my other poetry and then I can do the autumn one at last? Okay.
Yeah, you have 5 minutes, so you can.
That's perfect. Thank you. So this first one is when you feel when someone catches you. I feel you catch me. Every kiss laid upon my lips is tasteful. Every glide, the palm of your hand runs up my skin is sensational. Each dazzling stare itches my soul, and at the sound of your voice leaves me breathless. Every time you say my name, my love, I feel you catch me. And that's it for this one.
I'll just remind you, just say thank you when you finish and we'll...
Okay, so maybe it's easiest. Thank you.
So show some gratitude.
Of course, I'm always grateful. It's just been such a rush day for me, so I'm a little bit scattered. My apologies.
That's
No.
okay. We just want to make it easier for you and everyone to know that this is the end so we can show you our gratitude for your poem.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. This next poem is with love comes playfulness, and never to stop reminding each other why you choose one another's heart. Why do you choose me? She asks as though it's a complicated question, when to me it was the simplest to answer. It's in how words gently fall off your lips, and the way you put your heart to action. It's in the way you want to know everything about me. The way your touch gives me comfort, and the way you kiss me with your soul. It's all in the way your eyes are staring back at me in this moment, pouring every ounce of your love into me. Her eyes still gazing at me, I then ask, why do you choose me? Without a word, she steps closer, locking her hands in mine, because you let me sleep in your favorite t-shirt. We both release a chuckle. Thank you. Thank you. This one is, it's fairly short. It's basically in regards to the type of love that I believe everyone deserves. It's the kind that takes you by surprise, the one you didn't expect, the one that feels like it just fell out of the sky and landed right where you are, the one that makes you discover your own self, the kind that leads you to your truth, the one love that makes you fall in love with you. Thank you. Thank you. My last poem is the autumn one. I feel the calmness in the air while the breeze gently caresses the side of our cheeks. With every step in sync, we walk hand in hand, listening to the sound of each leaf dance. Our souls live in the serene scene as colors brush our core, and just like that, like autumn leaves, I fall into you. Thank you.
That was beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Hopeful,
So nice.
so hopeful.
Thank you.
Now we have Darcy Green from Australia, and he's the author of The Residue of Our Desires.
Thank
Elsie,
you,
what do you
Zazie.
think? Extra minutes, because I see the number of people is less than every time. I see many people do not come. So what do you think? We just can add like a minute or two if anybody wants to say more poems? What do you think?
Yeah,
What do you
sure.
think?
Yeah, sure.
I think 4 people didn't show up. So we have their time.
Why don't we stick to the time, and then if they don't show up at the end, we have extra time to make it up. It's okay? Because sometimes they come late.
Possibly, yes.
Okay. Darcy, please.
Thank you, Zazie. Good morning, everybody. The title of my book is The Residue of Our Desires. And yeah, there are many reasons why I wrote it. But anyway, I won't say too much. Okay, so I'm a bit dazed this morning. Been up most of the night, so please excuse me if I seem a little bit vague. I wrote a poem about the horses because there was a documentary about the cruelty that happens to racehorses and in Australia, and there was a lot of cruelty going on with that in greyhounds, and I decided to write about the horses. So I'll read this poem. It's called What About the Horses? And off they go the stars of our show, around in a circle, hoof and toe. The bets go wild as the alcohol loosens wallets, the crowd ecstatic with their involvement. Many see them as a financial sphere, while the majority are here for the atmosphere. Most lose count of how much they spend, for the fun is in the drunken day's end. The organizers count their insurmountable pennies, bugger the horses and their injuries. If the vet says it's over, the horse is dog meat for a dog named Rover. And all the other horses that never made it, I'll give you one guess as to their downgradement. Most punters care not for the fate of these horses. They are too busy milking their own resources. There are many horse owners and trainers who care very much for their four-legged entertainers, and the strappers and jockeys whose bond is as strong as epoxy. But I am talking about the horses that one never hears about, who are killed because they were a worthless investment. They did not ask to be bred nor volunteer to become dead. They were bred for the sake of money via human entertainment. They would die for the sake of money via human entertainment. How sad, how selfish, how could we? So please, the next time you think about going to the races, consider all the four-legged paces and don't forget the greyhounds. Thank you. My last poem, I'll make the poem about autumn, Sally. I'll make that the last. I'll read more poem and then. This poem is called The Mind. This intelligence we call mind is a never-sleeping giant. Its thoughts are infinite liabilities, reasons for high and low instabilities. Most people act upon these mental incitements without a thought of consequential indictment. The rapidity of thought through the brain is a magician at holding court, and the never-suspecting client is rarely in control of this giant. It has many homes inhabiting this planet, but is seldom itself at home. It roams the corridors of the past, attached to its memories of bliss and pain, then ventures to the ponder of a future time and romance the idea of a life of sublime. Very few times is it ever present. It is an all-in-one sandstorm, inferno, tsunami and blizzard, an anonymous interdimensional wizard. So many emotions arise, then deflate. Our mind is always ready to migrate. Within dwell a coward, a hero, a sage, and a Nero. This thing we call mind seems like an infinite placebo. No matter what we declare about this neurosis that is as invisible as air, we must learn to master it. For far too long have we been its slave. Thank you. And I must say, Sally and Linda, I'm enjoying your books. There's a lot of depth. Boy, but there have been some emotional things happen when I read some of your poems. Like, you know, eyes start to water a little bit. Some very touching poems.
Oh, lovely. Thank you.
I'm going through it a third time. I wrote a poem about, this poem is called The Northern Fall, the Summer Autumn, or the Southern Autumn, sorry. The heat of summer has passed and the cooler winds make known the migratory call. The harvest is in and the bears are having their fill, and soon beckon the caves in yon hills. The trees are alight with beautiful colors, and yet there is a sadness as the multicolored leaves fall. It is as if they are saying farewell to the migrating birds who for a while dwelled amongst them. No compass, no aeroplane, only the air currents, nature's natural migration lanes with no tariffs. Those who remain know there will come with spring an emergence and resurgence of acquaintances from near and far. And so the magnificence of fall is honored by the photographers want to share with one and all. And south we head to a land down under, a place the ancient inhabitants called Gondwana. Here in this land of deserts, Alps, rainforests, and fertile plains, autumn welcomes a multitude of colors and manes. The southern states swell with the thickening of fleeces as their migrating birds elope to the northern reaches. The perfume of house fires fills the cool night air, adding to the mist of the highland country flair. The autumn change is welcomed by all. Come all ye northers and enjoy our southern fall. Thank you. Oh, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you,
Darcy.
Dorsey. It was great. Now we have Natasha Kopus from the United Kingdom, Fight for Freedom.
Hello.
Hi, Natasha, please.
Okay, so I'm the author of A Fight for Freedom. And I don't. Would you like the autumn one first, and then my others that are a bit darker, or the autumn after to end? How would you prefer?
Start with the dark ones, so then we can be cheerful at the end.
Yeah. Okay.
Show us your book, Natasha.
Oh,
Another your book, please.
see it? Can you see it? If I pull it out, I'm going to reveal the can that's propping it up.
Okay, so
What's the title of the book?
A Fight for Freedom.
Okay, Fire Freedom. Cool.
Is it a can of Guinness, I wonder?
It's not actually, it's antibacterial spray.
You drink that too?
No. I'm not on everything at the minute. Okay. That's a good giggle before the little darker poem.
I do what I can.
Thank you. Okay, so the first one is twisted. How dare you say you're not worthy to feel the way you feel when you need to heal? How dare you stay confused and confined to your own mind, lost in limbo when you're seeking to find? How dare you deny yourself peace and reason for why you are human? Mistakes happen, no need to stay frightened. How dare you be resistant to grieving by telling thee it's not for me, I shouldn't be? How dare you be so caring, love all but no sharing, keep yourself losing? How dare you stay confined to emotions and minds, twisted, confused, entwined? I dare you to be kind to yourself as you are to all else. Unravel the relieve the twist and reveal yourself to whom you trust. I dare you to ignite the flames of your own life with love, peace and light. Please stop living in disguise. My friend, my cousin, I see it in your eyes. Please ease the pain without compromise. Trust me this once, if never again. You're worthy of life until the end. So the next one, again a bit dark, it's called The End. Death is a word that in its form resembles final. Is this denial? Lies and deceit can creep from the graves of the deceased, causing the flames of pain to ignite again. Is it in vain, this question of truth, as in the end this gets buried with you? Just like a movie, one of its kind, but wait a sequel in another's mind. Live life in full and in time, take opportunity presented to you. Confusion over questions you may never get answered. Save the ending for the day of resting. As are we really in control of anything? Why don't we question the ending? As for some, it's just the beginning. Through tears and laughter, joy and pain, bonds have formed, ties made, hopeful not to lose again. Thank you. And my autumn one is called Seasons. Light one now, we can all breathe. So today I say goodbye to you on one sunny afternoon. The summer skies for the autumn surprise. Seasons change from bloom to gloom with the miracle of knowing you'll re-agree soon. Oh, mysteries around you. The breeze you swing can hold a sting, frosty mornings can sing. Becoming prepared for winter's dawning. The leaves have fallen, creating a daydream whilst walking, as they crunch beneath your feet, with concord rolling in between. The celebrations of Halloween marking your presence truly. Children's laughter on doorsteps turns to terrors when they meet their nightmares. Your autumn sunrise ends their tears, only to sit in wait to do it again next year. How time flies under your changing skies. You bring the joy of beauty to our eyes. Seasons changing could never be despised, for the earth is healing in its disguise. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Linda Throne from the UK. Out of my mind. Author of Out of My Mind. Hi, Linda.
This is me, my book. This book has many snippets of me and my life within it. And two of the poems I'll read from this evening. This first one is personal to me, and the last one in the book, which is called Fight, which is now a favourite of my sister-in-law's who is bravely fighting cancer. So my autumn I will also leave till the end. Glasses. My darling angel baby, not destined for my arms, all I have of you, an image, inside me safe from harm. But God changed his mind and chose to keep you in his care. You must have been that angel he just couldn't bear to share. I knew that when you ceased to thrive, I know I felt you leave. That I would never hold my baby was just too hard to believe. I imagine you're that shining star, that constant in the sky, reminding me you're out there in that world that never dies. I love you so, my darling. My love is wanting still for the day that I may hold you, as I believe I will. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, very powerful.
Beautiful.
And this is called fight. What a strong word. How empowering, how delightful do I feel when I fight my old intruder, my prize, my spirit healed. It's not easy for a moment, it's not easy for a time. It's fantastically achieving, and the victory is mine. I won't pay that awful ransom. I won't lose what's rightfully mine. I will always be obnoxious in the face of my decline. I will save me from disaster. I will save me from it all. I will consciously inspire myself and keep me standing tall. It won't define me with a title. It won't determinedly declare a war on me so brutal that leaves me lying there. For I will constantly defy it. I will constantly refrain as I acknowledge this my illness and will beat it all the same. Yes, I am empowered even though you do reside. I make you sit and wait your chance, denying you your ride. You're powerless today and will be powerless tomorrow. I will lie in wait, you will lie in wait, but never make my sadness or my sorrow. So fight I will, and fight is still a strong and powerful word that keeps me straight and fearless in this fearful, anxious world. Thank you. And my autumn poem is entitled A Tale of Two Autumns. Just as the green will turn to gold and crackle under rubble soul will die, winds with silver suns shall scold and days will hover over cold, yet I will smell the damp and even so will smile. For I have lived and had my days of summer wine, brought forth the fruit in spring and danced through winter's kind reply. Now is the autumn of my life, golden spun from green and aged by nature's hand unseen. I smile, I'm blessed, I feel, I see, and smell and breathe. Autumn gifts of life still here for me, not quite yet to leave. Here in beauty, O Lord, the joy of autumn's slight reprieve. For winter or the end is not quite here. I relish in this autumn of my life and time of year. Thankful for the joy the seasons brought, and thankful for the life we shared with nature and with all, but none more than autumn. Thank you.
That's lovely.
The end for me.
Is this the book again?
That one wasn't. Oh. Oh dear.
Thank you. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Very beautiful. Now we have Mike Wilson from the USA, and he's author of Arranging Deck Chairs on the Titanic.
Yes, this is my book, Arranging Deck Chairs on the Titanic, Political Poetry for a Post-Truth World. A lot of it's about politics in the US, but I'm not going to read anything from that today. I'm going to read some poems on dementia. Dementia and Alzheimer's runs in my family. And so I write poems about it, and actually have written a novel set in a nursing home. So here's the first poem. The Golden Years. She calls the nurse, pressing the button nobody hears. She calls family. They let it go to voicemail, waiting to see if she will die. She doesn't. She calls to God, presents her argument, makes her plea, waits for the judge's gavel to strike the bench with a ruling. They stick her in a home. Night fears make conjugal visits. She calls the aide but can't remember why. Can't remember the girl's name but pretends she does. The girl leaves when she thinks she's done. It must be nice. The same with visitors. Muscle memory of social interaction kicking in the tune but not the words. All these strangers who are like fishing bobs, bobbing up, bobbing down, looking at their watches. Thank you. The next poem is called Castle Keep. I never saw it coming. It doesn't have a face, is known through absence of chunks and parts, small paving stones of ordinary gone missing. Empty boxcars, uncoupled, still rolling with momentum from a life lived, carrying him through days, a click-clack along an old track, a train without a schedule. At first preoccupied, then reoccupied by patterns he no longer owns, fragments of stories, twisted paragraphs clutched, the abridged version of his life, shorthand dictated, no longer transcribed. Alone in gray that could turn black, becoming the prey of his own mind, the timbre of words not tempered by love, uttered with prompts, delivered to an audience of tissues and tears. I buried him, broken and shuffled along, waiting until they made me sell the house and settled me in assisted living with meals, a bed, and no meaning, but everyone is kind. Thank you. The last one is from a visit I had with my aunt in the nursing home when she no longer knew who I was. It's called Auntie Tells Us the News. She doesn't know us, her nephews who come to visit. We could be the police coming to arrest. She speaks in loops of long ago, the same practiced story every 30 seconds. She's faking, she still doesn't know us. Her stories are patterns, the astral shell of a life leaving ahead of the incarnation living it. She remembers our parents' names, accepts our bold claim that we are kin. Deemed demented, what else can she do? But this we have in common, the filament in the light bulb, the rudder steering through waters of illusion. Love. She feels our love. Mind and body were fake news anyway. Love was all that mattered. That's Auntie's news. Thank you.
Whoa.
That's so good.
It's amazing.
I think I like you better this way, Mike.
I figured everybody would.
But don't hold back on anything political, though.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
I think we'll move to Scott. Is that right, Sally? Sally?
Is Minna still there? Yes.
Oh, she's cutting. She sent something that I'll read for her when it's her turn. She's her connection is bad. She's apologizing. She's trying, but she can't get through. We're Scott Ransford from United States. He's author of the collected poems.
Yes. You guys ready? Or?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm Scott Meister. I'm from Texas. I have 4 volumes of collected poems. They all have the same cover. First volume collects poems from 1995 to 2003. The second volume collects poems from 2004 to 2009. The third volume collects poems from 2010 to 2015. And the final volume, fourth volume, goes from 2016 to 2019. I also have a volume of selected poems, goes from 1995 to 2020. And I have a poem, has kind of an autumn theme to it. It all stills off of all the seasons. A cabin in the woods. In the woods, a little cabin sat with its wooden deck. As winter comes, the snow appears, and bluebirds leave their trees. As spring turns the air warm, the bluebirds speak of their future. The smell of green summer apples so crisp with the deer eating in the hills by the cabin in the woods. Fall appears and chills them all. Deer in the runt and harvesting in the mountain hills by the little cabin in the woods. Thank you. And when I write a poem, I usually write the title and I write maybe like 3 or 4 lines afterwards, and I put it down, pick it up the next morning and finish it. Sometimes, and I go back and see if the title's already been used. In this case, I wrote a poem called Letting Go, but I've already have a poem called Letting Go, so this is called Let It Go 2. Letting go. Turn away and don't look back. She loves you, that is a fact. The fall you have taken will not be long. She still lives here in your heart, even though she's gone. She is sorry, for she broke many hearts. When love called, she went. She did not know your life was so badly bent. Still she moves on, and she knows you can too. So turn away and don't look back. She is not afraid. That is a fact. Thank you. Now this poem is very autumn themed. Geese in flight. Light of day, with geese in flight, looking for places to spend the night. Nature's way to give them rest, while flying north at their best. Eating, drinking to fill a need, varmint, sickness, or dangers they heed. Graceful birds, always free, home soon, spring it will be. Thank you.
It's actually hopeful fall piece.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
It is Dad 3 because there's already a Dad 1 and a Dad 2. This would be Dad 3. Dad, a mountain amidst a snow-laden field, looking out across the horizon, where life became surreal, a wise man sits content. He's fought the battles, cheered and cried, held strong to his beliefs, and has watched them die. He has crawled through shame, agonized in defeat, twisted in the clouds on the winds of victory. Pure in his heart and his actions thereof, provider till the end and giver of love. If he could have one wish ever be his, he prays these sights be held in his eyes, and these thoughts be his when they say goodbye. Thank you. And my final poem is Passion. Passion 2, because there's already a passion somewhere. Passion, tangled in ebony coils, lost in piercing dark desire, infatuation, feathered by silken porcelain, caressed by blushing wine, obsession, hovering over rational sanity, rising above passé fantasies. Passion. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's what I've written this week.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was beautiful, Scott.
Thank you.
So you mean you became a dad for the 3rd time this week? Scott?
What?
Did you become dad 3 this week as well?
I wrote Dad 3. There's a Dad 1 from like back in the early 2000s, and a dad 2 for the later 2000s, but this is dad 3 because there's already 1 and 2.
Okay, Sally Sampson is an Egyptian Canadian. She's a poet, actress, and a presenter. Sally.
Yeah. Hello. Hi, everyone. I do not have, an autumn poem, and I do not have a happy poem. I've been writing poetry for the last couple of years as almost a kind of therapy for myself. I'm currently going through divorce and really working my way through things like issues like self-worth and things like that. So I have 3 poems. I don't know if we're going to be able to get to them all or not. But yeah, the first one is called The Haunting. And this is about when you crave someone that is not really good for you. So you idolize them and you obsess about them and you really can't shake them off. Here you go. Can't shake it, can't shake you, phantom in my mind. I feel you, I breathe you in, spirit elusive yet defined. Memories and ghosts danced round my body's haunted attic. Longing, lingering, unashamed, devastating, and problematic. Whether awake or asleep, I conjure your figure with clarity. Though you are a mere dream, I perceive you in reality. Till I could lose all sanity, a broken compass with no bearings, spinning round, seeing your face, till I remain alone and weary, desperate for a touch, pining for a kiss, craving your embrace, all items on a futile wish list. Chasing after your figure, I try to catch you like the mist. I come up empty-handed with nothing but a cold and empty fist. I immortalize you in reverie. I idolize you in my heart. Half man, half God, I feel you, but can't see where you are. Perhaps you only exist in the messy tangle of my affection, haunting the complexities of my heart, laughing at the extent of my subjection. Slave to the specter, bowing low, forehead touches the floor. Maybe if I believe enough in you, you will become real and haunt me unrelentingly no more. Thank you.
My goodness.
Very good.
That was so deeply felt.
Thank you. The second poem is called Words, and this is to do with when you're in any kind of toxic relationship and you want to say something and you can't help it, and you start to feel like there's 2 people living inside of you, the person that wants to say something and wants to stand up for you, and the person who's scared and cowering because they don't want to lose the relationship, and it begins to feel like there's like a demon living inside of you. So this is just called Words. In the beginning was the word in the pit of my heart, at the bottom of my gut, in the deepest, darkest part, where a lowly, growling monster dwells and survives, to consume all courage, all peace, all that I have scrapped and struggled to painstakingly build, using blocks of my pain, my blood, my sweat, my will. It lives like a parasite, its long, cold fingers stretching themselves into my throat, grabbing my tongue, threatening to turn me inside out. It lures me in, my grief safely tucked under its armpit. It pinches my agony whenever I think of challenging its authority, its dominance over my shattered, crumbling heart, imperfectly glued together and still missing so many essential parts. In the pit live the words, weighed down by its foot and my panic, unable to raise their heads despite their nature being volcanic, explosive on the verge of causing riot and revolution. Instead, they float at the bottom of the ocean, my emotions a layer of pollution. Possessed as a prisoner in my own home, the woman in the iron mask, the woman with the impermeable gag, absorbing every detail and charged with the impossible task of holding it all in, of measuring every syllable on the delicate scale, of love and loss, of yes or no, of should I or shouldn't I, of success and of failure. In the beginning was the word, but word upon word they became toxic. The beast existing, tucking them into pockets and trapping them into boxes. Compartments upon compartments sealed with terror, stamped with shame. Words stacked and trapped, things that were never meant to be contained. In the middle, both beginning and end remain regrettably insignificant. In truth, here and now dominate all. Heartache and sorrow slaughter innocence. And the words that once flowed like a pure, uncontaminated stream in paradise fall prey to malevolent monsters keen on asphyxiation and genocide. In the beginning was the word, but in the end of them what will be? What will the words entombed in the middle find that sweet release or rest deceased, stillborn in the womb, dead, brutally murdered before their birth? Or will they conspire against the monster, escape, and roam this earth? Thank you.
Oh.
So yeah, I have issues. And the final poem I will read to you because I seem to be behind everyone else. I didn't celebrate summer until much later, just like September, I think I finally went to the sea. And then this poem came out. It's called The Seaside, but it's also about remembering someone who didn't treat me the way I deserve to be treated. Sitting by the sea, the sobering breeze unwillingly transports me into a heart-rending dream I once dreamed, wide awake, that made me cry. Once upon a time when I thought you could be mine forever, I tried, God only knows I tried, and I might have died trying, but I still would have failed to keep you there. I was deeply aware, but entranced with care, I fought my despair, desperate for more than a fleeting affair, but you said you weren't ready for something real. You were, just not with me, it seems, because when they came around, that one, her, and she, oh, they all made you believe in true love, made you feel free, and you weren't deaf to their pleas, tripping over yourself with affection, like you would trip over yourself at the mention of there being an us, showing so much apprehension, but you were fine soaking up the attention. Reciprocity wasn't your intention, but in between true loves, you sought impermanent connection, shamelessly, without thought for my breaking heart, but shame on you, shame. After all that I readily gave, you never found the decency to say, no, thank you, stay away. I will only break your heart. This will not change. My feelings are here to stay. No, you kept opening the door and then disappearing into thin air and then reappearing, starved and in need of feeding, domineering, concealing, maybe even to yourself, your true feelings or lack thereof. And my persevering heart could not turn you away, even though I saw you prey on my heart. You uncertainly swayed on the threshold, never resolutely stepping into the hallway. To my utter and tragic dismay, you always turned your back, you always ran away, no matter how little or how much I gave, until my heart gave way like a rotten plank, snapping in half, splintered, cracked, standing there expressionless, face blank, watching every dream barely afloat as it sank, out of my grasp, out of my reach. And sitting by the sea, by the beach, I cannot conceal the breach of memories, as each one compels me to internally screech as I beg for any form of peace, from the cries, from the whys, from the goodbyes, undignified and unjustified, discarded on the seaside, a castaway, cast aside.
Wow.
Wow. So passionate in your spoken words. It's so beautiful to listen to.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's performance poetry.
Yeah.
It is true.
It draws you in. I absolutely, I'm like in awe. It's amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm an actress, y'all.
Oh, you are? And I could see where the passion's coming from. It's coming from your core. It's beautiful.
Thank you
Yes,
so
and
much.
we'll wait for you to come and play with us in the Golden Theater soon.
I'm down. You let me know when.
You got a third one, you said?
What's that?
Sally, did you say you had a third one or just two?
Oh, that was 3.
Oh, that was
was
3?
the third.
Yeah.
I think we got lost in it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Odil's bailing me out.
I got you. That was stunning, honestly.
It was.
What I meant to say is that we want more. That's what I meant to say.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you, Zazie.
Exactly.
Good looking out.
Thank you.
Okay, now we have our beautiful Egyptian poet, Amira Abdel Gawed, poet. She's working with Sophia, right?
Yeah. I'm working, inshallah, I'm working on Sophia and her Secrets of the Blue. So there are 2 poems about Sophia today, and some more poetry from my recent writings. Okay, let me share some of the secrets of her tale. She kept on loving despite the distance, the bitterness, the pain. Her love was an untamed hurricane. She followed the wind to a destined dead end. She passed the horrors of her own sorrows, like a white flower in the rain. With faith, her love is not in vain. She still believed in her hurricane. Thank you.
That was lovely.
Beautiful. This one too is about Sophia. She stared at the blue and swore, I'm true. Let me love, let me live, let me dive into you. She asked for more. The blue laughed, girl, beware what you wish for. You're not here to fly up high. You will have to go through my storms, my tides, my crashes, my whirlpools, my roars. She nodded, sure. All what you wish for, I will endure. Where shall I go with this fire? How do I pursue my heart's desires? Who do I turn to except to you? The blue smiled, here you go. She lived and loved and dived and drowned, time after time after time after time. And this is simply the story of Sophia and her Secrets of the Blue. Thank you. This one is about the mysticism of love that's always called madness. So call me nuts, call me crazy, call me mad, call me names neither you or me will understand. So long I am in love with all that exists, so long as I dance to the tunes of this universe, so long as I hear the rhythms of these beating hearts, so long as my heart still sings to the ones who part, I embrace lunacy for my part. May this mania never depart my heart. Thank you.
That's beautiful.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
Beautiful poem.
Thank you. This one actually I wrote today, so it's like inspired by this gathering. A message in a bottle thrown into the sea, whispering, if I had a wish, it would be you to find me, for I would lose myself in the search of you. Ain't this why you put me through what you put me through? So what a win if I lost all of me to find you, and what a loss if I returned with everything but you. It matters not the most who will find who. They said long ago, what you seek is seeking you. Thank you.
Oh, I love that.
That's really lovely.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. This one I wrote by the sea last year. The stars were amazing that night, so it inspired me. The constellations were witnesses of my solitude. The shooting stars burned from my flames. The waves' crashes were rebelling my silence. Nature was conspiring against me. To kneel in longing, it has been long since I confessed. Thank you.
Lovely.
Thank you. Blindfolded, my heart sees. I follow your path. Before my eyes, doors opening to heaven. A sacred oath my heart honors. In full faith, I step forward, trusting your lead. believing in you, blaming myself for my steps, you opening doors and closing them as you please. Who am I to have a say, or even question why? If I'm obliged, mischief, your contentment is my relief. I surrender like leaves, as you please. Thank you.
Very pretty.
Thank you. This one is my last one. It's the longest for today. What more to love? The tiny footprints of my baby's feet, the chill of the morning breeze, the gentle words that my heart breach. What more to love? The dawn's singing birds or the nightingales, the fluff of my loyal dogs or my friend's secret tales. What more to love? The strikes of the waves on the rocks, the storms that shake our hearts out. What more to love? The smiles behind the spilled tears, the patience that streamed our years, the promise of tomorrow to wash our past sorrow. What more to love? The ink spilling of my pen like blood from the crusade of sacrifice, the mastering of hiding the truth and wearing in pride the disguise. What more to love? The grace in adversity or the surrender and vulnerability in love, the solitude that pours down your light on us. What more to love than your heavens above? What more to love? Thank you.
Beautiful poetry.
Thank you.
Okay, we have Sultan Toher from Saudi Arabia, and he's the author of Crossing Thoughts.
Thoughts, yeah. Recently, I have made my new contract with Columbia, and that's my new book, Crossing Thoughts. It's written in paperback, and I guess Sally already and Mr. Darcy already got one. And I really thank them for their support. So today we'll start with, as Sally advised us, with a poem about fall. I did my best on this one. So here it goes. She promised to wait me at the withered tree, when tree leaves falls and fall. I waited there as long as it can be, but there was none waiting at all. I sat down where the grass is green, but the leaves were withered with no soul. I didn't know if it was them or me, but the silence reminded me of a depressing cold. My thoughts were conflicting in that silence. Do I know something, or do I know nothing at all? In a stray moment, I saw her approaching me with a smile that brought life back to the withered leaves. While I was shocked, speechless, with nothing to say at all, I admired her presence that I didn't feel myself. I didn't feel, but her warm smile that erased that depressing cold. I stood up with joy, killing away the conflicting thoughts, but as she dominated my presence to the point I don't feel myself anymore. O fire son of the fall, would you please last until I had enough of her love? O withered tree of the fall, would you please stand still until I had enough of her beautiful aura? Don't let me wither away without being with her. Not let me lost in thoughts until all what I think is her. For a moment, I realized she is too good to be true. I felt my heart pounding. Oh God, make it true. Cold sweat upon my forehead and my body shakes. She was fading. Oh, please let her stay. I suddenly woke up, prisoned between four walls and a roof that kept me away from the morning and the night stars. I took a deep breath, then I realized she was but a mirage of my own thoughts. Thank you. That's for the first one. And for the second one, it's actually a short story I have written. It's from my book. And let me see. It's called Insomnia. It was another restless night, and his mind was in a state of chaos of conflicting thoughts. He opened his eyes, stared at the ceiling for a while, trying to figure out how would he spend this restless night. Slowly he got up from his bed, looked at his small table next to him, grabbed his phone and checked the time. It was 3 a.m. already, and he didn't manage to sleep at all. With a minor headache and half-open eyes, he went to the kitchen, prepared his unusual cup of coffee, while he heard voices from outside the window. He got curious for a moment, wanted to check these voices. He grabbed his cup, headed to the window, while slowly sipping his coffee. He reached for the window curtain with his left hand and moved it away from his sight. Then he took a deep look at the sky through the window. The sky was full of clouds, trees, and being swayed by the fierce winds, and it was faintly raining, while the sound of the thunder penetrated the silence around him. It was unusually stormy night. While he was sipping, he heard a screech on the wall behind him, as if someone was writing on it. When he turned around, he heard fast and light footsteps. He heard fast and light footsteps from near the wall. He traced the sound by listening carefully, but couldn't see anything at all. Then he heard the basement door being opened in that sudden manner. Then it was forcefully shut. He froze in a place for a moment, his eyes was wide open. He was shocked, scared, insecure, but he still wanted to see what was in there. He closed his eyes, took a deep breath to calm himself. Then with a cautious and slow steps, he walked toward the basement door, opened it with his hand and looked down to the basement. It was stairs, dark, broken, it was cold. He took another deep breath while holding his cup, reached for the light switch with his left hand and turned it on. The light bulb blinked for a couple of times before it suddenly blew up, getting him back to the darkness one more time. He closed his eyes. He was thinking, what could I do? Am I drowning? He opened his eyes once more. He was up. He was up. He didn't know what to do. He took another deep breath, and suddenly he calmed his soul. He stood up and he looked at the sky at the window one more time. He saw the sky clear. He saw the sky clear and looked at the sun directly. Then he realized it's all about his imagination. His loneliness was taking him to another level. But he decided to move on, and he decided to find what he was missing. And thank you. And that's all what I have for today.
Thank you, Sultan. That was great.
Thank you.
Annie, welcome. Annie, hi. Thank you for
Hello.
joining us.
Yes, of course.
Those we have Annie and Aditi. We can't hear you.
Sorry. Aditi, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
I'll just introduce myself first. So I'm Aditi and I'm 18 years old. And recently I just signed my first book contract with Olympia Publishers. And I'm hoping that it will come out later this year or maybe next year. And writing has always been my passion. So here I am sharing this with you. Sally said that you have to share something about autumn. So I have two poems about those. The first one just reminds me of how autumn feels to me. I call it Choose to Flow. The rivers choose to flow through the dams and the crashes, cleansing the crimson of wars, to no damming do they go. The trees brighten again after sheddings of an autumn, beyond fires of a king's wrath, waiting to make way for rain. The blue skies make the sun return, despite the hoop of thunders, above the thrashing poles, shining into deep caverns. So get up, my love, it's only a long summer. Your autumn's here to cool your tents, for it's time for winter and the snow is shimmer. That's it, the first one. My second one is untitled yet, and I just wrote this a couple days ago, and then Sally said that we have to speak on autumn. I thought that I might share this one. So it goes, The wind is blowing, with it is blowing my sense, some passion in how it shifts, maneuvering its way between trees. It touches their leaves, causing domestic rifts. But more is its impression on my pulse, my sweet love upon your grace I heave. You're a scent, an envoy from my soul, I believe. Kiss me again, I miss the seconds in shadows. The shadow ghosts of the trees in the meadows, taking the liberty to heckle at my window. Come back, you heralds, come back to my meadow. That's it. I have a third one to share, and it's not about autumn, but I'm hoping to get this in the second volume of my collection, maybe some years down the line. And I call it A Flicker in the Distance. I wrote this a while ago while I was near a lake spending my time with my family. It goes like this. A dim orange light flickering to life in the distance, or maybe the cold cobblestones caressing my feet with wrinkles. I know you are who controls the rhythmic ripples pushing off my palms. I'm certain it is you who pours tender rain and gifts to keep me calm. Reaching out for you and stepping barefoot on the grass, with cobblestones behind me and sand before, I smell the breeze you whispered at last. I heard your language, dear one, now responds to mine. I'm silencing my way into confession and smiling my heart, accepting just fine. I allowed your voices to enter me, allow mine to enter yours. I'm sending tears in raindrops, I'm sending laughs in ripples on the shore. I let your flicker be recognized, now recognize my light. I'm opening my eyes to let you realize. Come forward, fair one, let me touch your soft skin. I've been waiting all dreams, all day, online. I am now awake, all eager, all prepped. Don't take too long, I didn't wait to wait. That's it. Those are the all 3 points I have to share.
Thank you. That was beautiful.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Annie Carter from Canada.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Okay. Let's see what I got.
Annie, I wish you came earlier. You missed a lot.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, because for me, I'm trying to like get the time zones right. So I thought, wait, what
Same
time is
for
it?
me. I messed up
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, because it's 3 p.m. here. Yeah, I thought that I was getting it right, but I guess not.
Amy, I sent you an actual DM on Instagram telling you that you got it wrong.
Me?
Yeah.
That I got it wrong.
Yeah, you go check out your inbox.
Oh, okay. So just
That's
recently.
right.
Yeah, I don't check
it was yesterday when I saw your story and I saw that you miscalculated the time difference. I was like, you're gonna whether I'm wrong or you're wrong, one of us can't be both right because we're in the same time zone.
Okay, well, I'm sorry about that.
It's
I don't
okay.
check my
You're here
messages
now.
very often. Yeah.
Link,
So
and you can watch what you missed. Okay.
yeah, I
I'll
will.
send you a.
Okay, thank you.
Where are you from, Annie?
I'm from Toronto.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. You?
Texas.
Oh, cool. Okay. I was actually just putting together a bunch of poems that I was going to perform, but you know what? I'm just going to perform the one that I have just recently memorized. Hopefully I can remember it, but it does, even though it isn't directly about fall, it does, the person who I am speaking about reminds me of this season. And all right, I'll just get into it. Being on the West Coast was a drug, it felt healing, until the sunburn from your rays began peeling. Getting on the plane that day, forgetting how to forget you, but knowing I had to. I don't forget. You dance in my head along with other men, but you are the main attraction. Let's take it back when we fought about nothing, which tempted you to tempt me to leave. Leave forever without a word, our end still lingers around me, telling me I'm not enough for him. I'm not enough for you. I'm not enough. Was I just your distraction while she went to school? Weird that we'd fall asleep on Skype every night. 15-hour bus rides to be by my side. You did love me, but it didn't seem right. We put up a fight. We had this picture of perfection. That's what you called me, perfection. But we were scared of one another. Trust issues would smother. Your very own mother wanted me as her daughter. She said I was the most level-headed girl you knew. What kind of shit did you put yourself through? I began feeling terribly sorry for you. Until that day I heard the truth, that untold truth you knew so well, my heart, it fell on the floor. That's when you cast your spell. To never forget. 7 years later, I do not forget. When we drove down the highway that day, blasting Lana Del Rey, we finally hit the east coasted ocean. I was the only one in that freezing cold ocean. You laughed and cheered and called me Canadian. You made fun of me, but you loved our bacon. 7 years later, I do not forget. We were... Hold on. I do not forget. We were at the door of my father's house. Yeah, okay. We were getting home to my father's house. He was lying down, half asleep on the couch, not knowing we were influenced by something else. We ripped off our belts and went straight to hell. It felt as if love could never be gone as long as we owned a bong and played along with each other's wrongs. 7 years later, I do not forget. You arrived in Toronto your very first time, felt almost sublime, a victimless crime. My heart, it went blind, straight out of my mind, then all of mankind stood still. Anxiety gone. The grass was so green and it was finally on my side. It was easy. Please don't leave me. But you left me for her. Your love eating at my body every night. Can you feel it? Crawling on my skin, gnawing at my bones, whispers in my ears. Can you hear it? They say twins can feel their siblings' pain, but is it the same with twin flames? You had a choice to make. In love with two at the same time, that made it hard for you. You chose the closest option. Does that bother you? Being on the West Coast was a drug, it felt healing. But feeling and finding are not one and the same, and I don't know where to go next for closure, so I sit here in silence, still trying to find it. Love, the girl who will never forget. That's all.
Wow.
Love it, love it.
Love it.
Superior, wallah.
You can memorize all that. That's incredible.
I was having a hard time.
I want to know, you lost me at Canadian bacon. Let's get back
Oh
to
yeah? Female bacon?
Canadian bacon's awesome.
It's so good.
It's not
I
even
can get
bacon,
two
guys.
lines
Let's
in
get
my head.
real.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well.
It's ham.
No.
It's so good.
That's not ham. Okay.
Annie,
Well,
that's beautiful.
thank you. Thank
Are
you for
sharing-
having me.
Thank you for being with us. Are you sharing something else? Because we
I think that'll be all for today. Yeah, I was
I'm pretty
trying to-
sure you have one or two more tucked somewhere.
Okay, I'll see if I have this one.
It doesn't have to
memorized.
be about fall, but just do thrill us.
I mean,
Okay.
you can read your poems if they're with you. You don't have to recite.
Okay, I don't have, they're on my phone that I'm using for my, for Zoom. So I'm like trying to, so there's one. And I think this is definitely, so the poem that I just wrote or recited was about someone who I could not forget. That's what it's called. I do not forget. And it's just recently that I have found someone who is helping me forget, which I don't know if that sounds selfish or what, but it's like, it's the first time that I've actually, like, those memories have started drifting away. But this poem's about that person, and it's very short, but
Short and sweet, I'm guessing.
yeah. I follow patterns on your face. Fingers trace every second line embraced in stardust silver. Indents by some higher power. Minutes pass, they feel like hours. Shower me in your gaze. Written in my stars. No one's on par. And that's it. What's so funny?
Yeah, you know, if
Thanks,
you could
It's
get into your
beautiful.
notes without turning off Zoom.
Yeah, but then I don't know. I guess
It's
so.
it's just you can't see yourself, but you'll be able to read.
Yeah. Why, you want more?
You have time, I think.
Okay, well, hold on. Let's see what I got.
There you go.
Let's see. I do have one that I wrote about autumn. It is quite short as well.
Just as short as the second one, or a little longer?
I think it's a little shorter, actually. Okay. Let's dream the same dream, looking past for more. Air grows colder, hearts explore. Odors of leaves cracking neath my feet. There's something about this autumn breeze. It sets apart the part that smells of crisp ripe apples, cinnamon spells. It hurts a little more each day, cracking down until it breaks, and break I will in winter. And that is all. And I have no more.
Beautiful stuff.
Beautiful.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Sally, you're in Toronto too?
Who, me?
I don't think so.
Oh no, I'm in Cairo.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in Toronto.
Oh yeah?
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
Hey.
in Toronto.
Nice.
Okay, and now we have
Alright.
Mikhail. He's Egyptian American.
Just Egyptian.
I'm just Egyptian, guys. I happen to be an Egyptian living in the U.S.
Okay, because I have Egyptian American.
It's all good. I know it's not you. It's me. It's all right. And I'm not gonna say I'm not a poet, but I'm gonna say that I'm a broken record because every time I show up, I say I'm not a poet, but I keep coming back. So it is what it is. Today, and I write when I'm inspired. I write in Arabic, colloquial Egyptian, and in English. I happen to have a translation for the Arabic one that I will read after I read it. I don't have a translation for the colloquial Arabic, but it's a short one, and it's along the same line of the other Arabic one. And then I have the few ones, they're all short, and I'll end it with a couple about the fall. So, and there we go. برضو ارجع واقول لك اعمل ايه وانا هرب مني الكلام. قلبي وعقلي مش في حالة انسجام، حالة غريبة مش هي حرب او سلام، بعضي على بعضي كده حالتي هي مش تمام، بس هو امر واقع واحنا مفروض علينا الالتزام. فاعفي عني، اعفي عني، اعفي عني وارجعي لي وارحميني من المرار. دي الحياة من غيرك انتي خلت جوه القلب نار. ده انتي صبحي وانتي نوري وانتي كمان شمس النهار. وإن عشقت حد غيرك وإن عشقت غير جمالك يبقى ده القلب انتحار. طب انتي رايحة ولا جاية؟ طب انتي رايحة ولا جاية؟ مش باين لك اتجاه. ارحمي قلبي وقوليلي ده غريق وانتي ليه طوق النجاة. فارحميني ارحميني وارجعيلي او اسعفيني بالوفاة. اصل دي الجنة في رضاكي وبدونك انتي وبدون هواكي تتلعن مليون حياة. Thank you.
That was beautiful.
The Arabic one is a little shorter. I'll say the translation first, so this way at least. She's both my pain and my remedy, and regardless of how I suffer loving her, I don't want a cure if that meant that I was to get over her. It's my heart that cursed me with such love, where I'm destined to suffer. To hell with this heart, it's not mine, for only it responds to her calls. But in all of this, I have hope that in death my suffering will come to an end. For I know in death I will finally be at peace, since I paid my dues in suffering, and now I'm left to rest in peace when I'm finally in God's grace. For only in death I'll be relieved from her spell. So that's the English translation. In Arabic it sounds a little better because it rhymes, and it says, وداوني بتلك التي كانت هي الداء فلئن عللت في حبكم فلئن عللت في حبكم ما كللت من علتي ولا عوز لي بشفائي فوالله وإن صح حالي بهجركم فوالله أنا من ذا العلاج برائي فإني في العشق بفؤادي لمبتلي أذلني واستحسن لي عيش العناء وهو على العهد مجبري تبا لك قلبا أضنيتني واستعذبت لي هذا الشقاء ولكن أمني نفسي بالمنية وأرتجي أن يعفى عني وأسترح من عيش البلاء وقد استوفيت في الحب ويلتي أرحم وأرقد في سباتي يوم يأتي ألقي فيه بارئي فمصير كل حي بالفناء.
Allah.
And just to make it so dark, I added a couple of lines to soften the blow. كلا وربي لا نهاية لحبنا بل سيحيا في السماء وإن تركناها هنا أجسادنا مدفونة في دنيا الزوال فهناك يكون لقاؤنا هناك في دار البقاء. That's just to make it a little brighter.
Bravo.
مشكور سعادتك. And then we go to the English ones. Drinking by your lonesome, trying to ignore the longing. You break and shed a tear. She left you, but for a moment, yet it felt it was a year. You were so afraid to lose her, paralyzed with this fear. You called the barman over, asked him to fill the void and pour you another beer. Thank you. And the next few ones were inspired by some very talented creative director in a mall in Egypt. I'm not gonna name names, but it was very clever, and it started a few three pieces that are short, but I think they're sweet. So he looked at the angel, and as she warned him, "Beware of my dark side." He looked at the dark side, and all he saw was an angel at heart. He stared at the sun as she told him, "I'm a ball of fire. Better watch out for my smite." A ball of fire you are, but I'm not afraid of your might. Without you, I'm left in darkness, and with you, all my days are bright. For only you are my only source of light. So tell me, how could I go on without you by my side? How could I willingly go blind? And how could I by choice just give up my sight? How could I give up the light and spend my day in darkness and live all my days in one dark, endless night? Thank you.
Good. I like that one.
Good. And then the full themed ones. My heart dropped like leaves falling to the ground. Him too was falling. Unlike them, he crashed, but still without a sound. And just like a bare tree, I too kept standing around. But unlike the tree, I was bare on the inside, for it was my heart that went unfound. Thank you. And I'll part with this one. Yellow are some leaves, yet mine are red. Broken like a heart, bleeding with coals unheard. Did you see the leaves in the fall? Green, yellow, orange, and red, all on trees, standing tall, yet they all turn brown after they fall. Soft and gentle is the sun in the fall, but oh, how great is the leaves' fall. Yet the trees keep standing tall, a fate inevitable no matter the stall. The leaves keep falling as the trees stood tall. Begrudgingly they answered the call of the fall. Thank you. I think I rest my case. I'm officially uninvited now.
They were beautiful. Ihab, thank you so much. Very inspiring. I
Thank you.
personally. Okay, and now we have Giduruk from Egypt, and I translated the poems, alhamdulillah, this time. I'm going to share the screen. One second. Guido. Okay, share. Now do you see the document? You see the document?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Guido تفضل. المحكمة الأول. جيدو معنا؟
كل التحية للجميع. أهلا بكم جميعا. أهلا
باشا.
ازيك يا بوب؟ أراكم تزدادون تألقا وجمالا، كل شهر بنبقى أحسن وأجمل. كل التحية لكم جميعا. أنا حابب أبدأ بإهداء لملهمتي، تسمحوا لي أبدأ بيه. قلبي عنده سؤال بجد، بس وعديني تجاوبي وعد. هو أنت حد زي أي حد؟ لا بجد، أنت زهرة في وسط ورد، أنت حضن في وقت برد، أنت ضحكة في عز جد، أنت حلم في ليلة سعد. احضن القمر وميلي، اضحكي يلا وقوليلي على اللي كان جوه بقلبك، على اللي سهرني في ليلي. قولي يلا قلبي سامع، يلي نورك بالقلب ساطع، هسمعك حتى النهاية، هكتبك أجمل حكاية. قصتها هي بنت زي شجرة حب طرحة، تملى الوجود بكل جنون وفرحة، مرة مجنونة وتلاقيها مرة سرحة، ضحكة سحرة ونظرة رمش جرحة. نبضي ليها القلب ده، رقي ليها القلب وحب، هي فكرة، هي سكرة، هي امبارح، هي بكرة، هي أملي وأمنياتي، وعمرها ما تبقى ذكرى. هي روحي ودنيتي، هي فرحي وضحكتي، اللي بيها ببقى ليها نور وساكن مهجتي. الحكاية إني عاشق، الحكاية إني واثق إنها كل الحياة، وغيرها كان ماضي سابق. Thank you.
That was so beautiful. Lovely that was actually.
Thank you. Thank you. بخاف مني، أيوة بخاف مني ساعات، لأني حبك في قلبي مجنني، فأكون خواف وأخاف من النور اللي في عيونك، يعدي بحور على خدودك يدوبني، فأكون خواف وأخاف من القلب اللي كله حنين، يدوب في الحب ساعات وسنين ويقتلني، فأكون خواف وأكون مفتون وأنا المجنون بحب ملاك، وكل الكون بيحسدني على حبه، فأكون خواف من المقدور يكون بكرة علي الدور، وأكون ذكرى بتسكرني خلاص مش هخاف، ولا عمر الخوف يكون مكشوف على عيني ويكشفني، ما بقاش في خوف. ثانك يو. معلش بقى المحكمة الأخيرة ديت يعني إيه، هنقولها بشخصيتين، القاضي والمتهم. محكمة، اسمك؟ إني قتيلها. اسمها حسناء زمانها. خطفتها؟ لا لا لا، بل عشقتها. وصفها الجنة أرضها، السحر عيونها، الورد خدودها، الخمر شفاهها، النور جبينها، الدفء صدرها. هذا هو وصفها. وما مكانها؟ روحي دارها. انتظر حكمها. حكمنا عليك ألا تعشق غيرها، وأن تبقى أميرها، وتسجن في نهدها، وتعذب في خصرها، وأن تكتب أشعارها، فهي لك وأنت لها. أيها القاضي، حقا عدلت في حكمها. أيها القاضي، صدقا أقر بأني أسيرها. أيها القاضي، رفقا فقد صرت قتيلها. ثانك يو، شكرا جزيلا.
الله الله.
شكرا شكرا شكرا.
لا يا جيد.
انا قاعد مستني كل ده واخيرا طلعت حاجه كويسه.
حبيبي. كل التحية لكم جميعا، وكل الشكر لاستماعكم، ودايما كده في تقدم بإذن الله رب العالمين. شكرا جزيلا. شكرا. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Zazie, we can't hear you.
Well, that's what happens when you speak on mute.
Yeah, probably. Okay, now we have our beautiful Sally Rawhey from Egypt, author of There and the Unspoken Voices.
Thank you, Zoz.
Thank you,
Okay.
Habib.
These are again. That's the Unspoken Voices. And there, you're probably bored sick of me showing them every time. And I advise that we do read something about autumn. I don't have a very nice one, but I would just share a small one. I loved all of the autumn poems that you guys said. Okay, we'll start with that one. Yellow the leaves, they dry and fall, just like when you hushed my call. They wither, they break, they lose their soul. Why grieve now? Have you ever loved them at all? Their colors, their shades, have you ever cared at all? Nothing changed. Once again this autumn, they wilt and fall. Thank you.
That's lovely.
If longing had a voice, would you bear the loudness of the sound? Would you endure the vibration shaking your ground? If longing had an image, would you stand the brightness of its light? Would you stare into the sun and risk losing your sight? If longing had a taste, would you swallow that barrel of fire? Would you survive for long this melting desire? But longing is mute, longing is blind, longing is hellfire. Thank you. Okay, these ones I'm reading, they're probably going to be in my third book, and I can't remember the name of my third book at the moment.
Something about inside.
So we're
Yes,
getting preview now.
Me inside, exactly. I'm working on it now.
What's it called, Sally?
Called the me inside. Okay, that's from it. Okay.
I think first mention was made yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. I have walked past the temples of ego, yet only found darkness. Humans speak sparkling like stars, yet their true shades blackness. Tongues flaunting noble deeds, yet the intention cruelness. Features carved with fame, yet the soul's heartless. I have walked past the faces of life, and all failed, but God's greatness. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Have you ever sold your soul? Let go of yourself to please them all? Walked undesired paths beyond your shore? Befriended faces of fake core? Accepted roles that defy your course? Have you? Have you ever sold your soul? Muted love when it started to call? Lied and claimed your heart was whole? Pretended all feelings are under control? Have you? Have you ever sold your soul? 'Cause your ageless eyes now look out of time. You want to speak out, but every word's a crime. Your heart is sweet, but you're sour like lime. Light fills your within, but you can't see its shine. You are created with wings, yet you remain tied in dark minds. Have you ever sold your soul? 'Cause this captive soul is not mine. Thank you.
Love that.
Well said, Sally.
I have one that I wrote so many years ago that I would love to share. It's about searching for myself somewhere, just going around life from place to place. I think I was 20 when I wrote this, but it's very special to me till today. 26 years ago. Okay, it's called Just Me on Earth. Someone was behind me, following me, tracking me, chasing me. It was a moonless night. Heavy rain was blurring my sight. There were no crowds, no families, no lovers holding tight, no cars, no machines, no products of any worth, no trace of humanity on the face of earth, no other breath, no other face, except for footsteps that followed my every pace. I raced faster down the muddy street, my heart sinking with every beat. From street to street I ran, with no target, no plan, just a little voice inside me predicting danger, and a secret hidden with the stranger. Suddenly out of nowhere appeared a train. It was beautiful but shabby, like it dropped out of ancient Spain. Once the wheels started moving, I was imprisoned in a compartment without a soul, not even a driver to take his role, just the engine and I traveling through empty space. I searched for any passengers, but there was not a single face. I smashed the windows and waited for blood to fall, but nothing came out except the courage that ruled my soul. I jumped out to a crowded street, full of people and strange music. They were different, their faces human, yet inhuman, their voices like echoes from my past, their smiles like children, their sounds like angels. Perhaps they were aliens, or maybe I was the alien. Everything was so confusing. My mind had no peace. It felt like I had lived another lifetime, and their faces were a mere reflection of my face. I reached out to touch them, but I couldn't feel. The whole scene was so unreal. They were far and close at the same time, like enemies, yet partners in crime. I felt them call out to me, but my voice did not get through. Some invisible wall was blocking me too. There were no footsteps, and for a moment I envied my chaser, who must have found a lover while I remained a stranger. I flew away, indifferent to their echoes, fleeing from the world that refused to admit me. The footsteps returned again, following me down the streets. and back to emptiness. I don't know how long I ran, months or years. I don't know how far I reached, mountains or streams. I don't know why I was being chased or who was chasing me, enemy or ally, devil or angel, friend or foe, dream or reality, a stranger or just me. I had no strength to think or strive. My mind doubted I was still alive. Everything was so vague before me. All was unknown but my invisible chaser, as tightly close as a cardiac pacer, the only proof of my existence, my sole companion to this sentence. He and I were mates in a history that erased its dates. I stopped. It was time to face the stranger. I couldn't run anymore from the danger. I waited, but I couldn't hear. I turned because I was wild with fear.
Zazie, did she freeze? Hold on. I don't know who's clapping. I think she froze.
I think she froze.
Yeah.
We'll give her a minute to reconnect. Amira.
Yes.
تليفونك جنبك كده ممكن ترن لها تقول لها he's frozen. ايه
Seems she may have lost connection completely.
Zazie, she's trying to reconnect. She's trying to reconnect. So she said you can. It's your turn until she's back. She can finish her poem. It's okay.
I wasn't gonna say anything today. But my sister sent me something that she wants me to share on her behalf because her connection also is not going through. So I might improv. Okay. 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 So I'll read for Menna Hafiz, a piece that she wrote. Okay, you can hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, clear.
Okay. Take the path of least resistance, and if you can't be yourself, what is the point of taking this body coming to this planet? I remember God asked me, where are you? Ready to go back? I said yes. He said it will be painful. I said I know, but it will be worth it. He asked me, are you ready for your last lessons to be learned? You will be thrown with stones. I said I'm strong enough. If you have my back. He said you will be homesick for my hug. I said, I know, but I still want to go and spread my art, and I will be back soon, and you will be in my breath. He said, go, but be strong and be ready for all hardships. I give the hardest test to my dearest lovers. He took my wings and dropped me to my Mother Earth. He said, go, you will find your tribe. Be kind, be strong, and never forget why you decided to go back to Earth. I said I will not, and every step, every dance, every sketch, every hug, will be for you. I am yours, and I'm borrowing this body for a while, and soon my soul will go back home. I love you. God, thank you. You never let me lose my way. I choose you in every turn. Lead me and use me as a vessel of your light and love. Tickle my soul and soothe my aching heart with your love. I'm complete with you. I'm home.
Wow,
Thank
that was
you.
brilliant.
I love that.
Yeah, I love it. Beautiful.
Oh, very good.
That's for my sister Minna Hafiz. She's an artist. Her connection is not getting through. But Sally's back. Wow. Hi. Okay, Sally, please. Thank you. تفضلي.
عودا حميدا.
Welcome back.
I
Welcome back.
Merci. Thank you. I finished. Did you hear?
Really?
You finished.
know
You
which
finished
part.
on your own. You might have finished, but you finished on your own.
Really?
No, go back to where you stopped, please. Go back a bit.
She doesn't. Does she know where she stopped though?
It was when
because
I turned around. I turned around and faced because I couldn't keep running away around there.
Yeah, exactly.
The one with stranger and danger, I guess.
Okay. The footsteps returned again. Follow me down the streets and back to emptiness. I don't know how far I reached, mountains or streams. I don't know why I was being chased or who was chasing me, enemy or ally, devil or angel, friend or foe, dreams or reality, past or future, a stranger or just me. I had no strength to think or strive. My mind doubted I was still alive. Everything was so vague before me. All was unknown but my invisible chaser. A sky peak close as a cardiac pacer, the only proof of my existence, my sole companion with this sentence. He and I were mates in a history that erased its dates. I stopped. It was time to face the stranger. I couldn't run anymore from the danger. I waited, but I couldn't hear. I turned, because I was wild with fear, for it had come to be with me when none existed to be with me again. It was a young woman, dressed in my clothes, smiling my smile. I did not need to ask her who she was. I saw the answer in my eyes, heard it in my breath, felt it in my smile. The mirror was clear then. The fog was fading away. I was free to go, and I was free to stay. Thank you.
Well said.
It was beautiful. Thank you, Sally.
Very beautiful.
I missed
Everyone.
you so I wanted to be.
هبعتها لك.
Do we have time for anybody wants to say an extra one? Does anybody would like to say another one?
I found a happy one if anyone wants to hear a happier one
Yeah,
from me.
Oh, not happy ones.
We always want
No.
happy ones.
Happy. Come on now.
I know. Oh, believe me, it's a rare find, but
And
I found
a
it.
poem, Sally. I really need this one from you now.
This is hopeful for me. This is about the love that I know that I deserve, and I believe that everyone deserves. So it's called When I Find You. I don't know when it'll be, but when I find you, we will dance first thing in the morning. Our feet won't be able to help themselves. You'll lead, but you won't be controlling. We will laugh till we no longer stand upright, until we lay down in fetal positions, with tears streaming down our cheeks, expressive of our euphoric condition. I don't know how, but I'll never feel unsure of your care, of your devotion, of your support, of your integrity and your intelligence, your passion, and all of those things that make you you, that will make me fall in deep, that will capture and captivate, that will rivet and sweep me away in a furious flurry of love, even when we fight and even when things get tough. I'll know we're united, a team against all odds, and no matter how imperfect, you'll always be enough. I don't know how I'll find you, but trust me, when I do, I'll share everything inside my heart. I won't shy away from sharing my joy and my pain, and I won't fear that if I'm vulnerable, you'll want to depart. I won't have to make myself smaller to accommodate any insecurity. We'll lift and help each other up. We will not insult and bully, because we've been there and we've been through that. And we know that that's no way to be. That life is fucking hard enough as it is, with absolutely no guarantees. Except for this right now, my promise. When I find you and you find me, somehow, I swear I'll try my hardest and I'll be my kindest. And I will hold your hand through ups and downs and love you as you love me. That is my solemn vow. Thank you.
That's so hopeful. If you want to fall in love.
Yeah, it's a falling in love. You know, like fall and autumn, falling and love.
It's like tripping into it.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyone else?
Odile, I see a guitar behind you. Do you play it?
No, you know what? No, it's my son's guitar.
All right.
Where we just recently signed, like we had recently signed him up just before COVID started for classes, and then that kind of had to get shut down. So it's still sitting here because I like to keep reminding him that he will get back to it. It's a great instrument to learn, right? So, and I love everything to do with music and art, and I try to encourage my sons to get into any form of art. So
That's amazing.
I wish I could play this.
Oh.
I do have a short piece that it's slightly sensual, but it's still within romance. If it's okay, I can read it. It is slightly short. Yes. Here goes. I lay here by your side, watching your eyes study every piece of me. I feel the rush of electricity run up and down my body with your gazing stares. It's been a long time of you and me, and forever seems too short. We sit in silence that speaks volumes. We shed layers of our love to one another, with our skin to skin, while we stamp our fingerprints on every part of you and me. Thank you. It's just a short little one.
Okay, does anyone have anything else that they would like to share?
I have one to answer Zoe's, Amira's. The one that said, you had one that says, be careful what you wish for. This actually, Amira and I were playing ping pong together. So one of us started it and then the other one responded. Amira read hers, I can read mine.
Please. Yes. We usually do that behind the screen. Yeah.
Okay. It might take a few seconds, then it would knock on your door, or like a tornado, sweep you off the floor. You may never ever have your life back as before, so be careful what you wish for. Not all whom we love will care, for moments we crave, yet can never share. Ah. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
We're here. We can hear you.
We hear you.
We hear you.
Can you hear us?
Yes, we can hear you.
Maybe
Sally.
we froze for her.
I can't see you, you disappeared. It's okay, I can. Hello?
Hi, we hear you.
Can you hear us at least?
But can you see me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So be careful what you wish for. Not all whom we love. Some feelings when revealed leave us unfortunately bare. Be careful what you wish for. Giving into feelings can be utterly unfair. There's a time for every wish. A late love will burn and tear. You'll wish in your longing, only in their eyes to stare. Then you'll wake up from your dream, and neither you nor them were ever there. Yes, push wisely, 'cause life, my dear, is unfair. Thank you. Thank you, Amira.
That's lovely.
Thank you. Thank you, Sally. That was beautiful, a beautiful finale. Thank you, everyone. It was a beautiful, amazing night. This is just so beautiful. Yes.
Sally, may I ask, is
Pleasure
the
to
third,
have you.
yeah, is your third book coming with Olympia Publishers as well?
Sorry?
Hi, I'm just asking Sally if the third book is also with Olympia only.
Sally هي بتسألك حاجة شوفي.
Is the book going to be with Olympia or strictly self-published?
The new one? My new book?
Yes, that's my guess. The Me Inside.
Self-published.
Okay.
I just want to go alone this time.
Good luck then.
Thank you. Thank you, dear. Thank you, everyone, for joining. It was really wonderful.
Thank you again for having me. It was lovely to see everybody again.
Thank
Yes,
you. Yeah,
always a pleasure.
Yes.
We look
Thank you,
forward
everyone.
Night.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks,
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks, Ellie.
Thanks, Ellie.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye,
Lovely
guys.
night.
Bye.
Thank you.